Okay, I'm going to do the problem number 103 on page 471 in your text under the review section. You're told that Nick can fly 180 miles per hour. I should have added that in there right here. There should be miles per hour without the wind. I'm kind of summarizing it here. They say that he flew 100 miles against the wind and then back to his original destination, and the total time was 1 hour and 15 minutes. What was the speed of the wind? Well, we were told, and the best thing to do here is to break it apart when you're with the wind and against the wind. And each one of these, when you're with the wind or against the wind, is going to have a distance, a rate, and a time. In this case, we're looking for, and the total time we're going to be solving for, because we need to have an expression for the total time so we can add them together to equal 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I broke it apart here with the wind, against the wind. In both of those situations, 100 miles is the distance. We're told that he can fly 180 miles per hour just with, by itself, with or against the wind. If it was just zero wind at all, he would be going 180 miles per hour. So if he's with the wind, there'll be 180 plus x, which x being the speed of the wind, and against the wind will be 180 minus x. So I set up this problem so the time, which is equal to distance over rate, for with the wind is 100 divided by the rate, or 180 plus x. And against the wind, it is 100 over 180 minus x. The other piece of information, the last one we need is, we can't really work with the 1 hour and 15 minutes, so we have to change it to be 1.25 hours. And I got that because 15 minutes out of 60 hours, which I did here, it's just, when you reduce that, it's 1 over 4 or 0.25. If we go to the on this page, I added the total time with the wind plus the total time against the wind to get my equation, and that's going to equal my total time, which I calculated to be 1.25. 1 hour and 15 minutes, 1.25 hours. Now we need to multiply both sides by the least common denominator, which in this case is 180 plus x times 180 minus x. And when you multiply both sides of this equation by this 180 plus x, you'll see that the 180 plus x, once we distribute this least common denominator over here times this term here, we'll have 100 times 180 plus x, 180 minus x, divided by 180 plus x. So the 180 plus x will cancel, and we'll be left with just 100 times 180 minus x. The same thing is going to happen when we take this and multiply times the second term. The 180 minus x will cancel. So we will be left with 100 times 180 minus x plus 180 plus x. And on the right-hand side, nothing will cancel. So we'll be left with 1.25 times 180 plus x, 180 minus x. So I'm going to have to simplify both sides. Really, I'm just going to, when I expand this, I'll have 18,000 minus 100x plus 18,000 plus 100x. And you'll see that the 100x's are going to cancel. Over here, all I'm going to do is multiply out this grouping here, which is a difference of squares. And if you multiply that out, you're going to get 30, let's see, 180 times 180 is 32,400. And it's going to be minus x squared. On this side, the 100x is going to cancel. We'll be left with 36,000 equal to 1.25, 32,400 minus x squared. And I'm going to leave it like that because I'm going to divide both sides right now. I'm going to divide both sides by 1.25 so I can get rid of it. This is multiplication. So if I divide both sides by 1.25, on this left-hand side, let's see, 36,000 divided by 1.25 is going to be 28,800 equal to, and over here we'll have 32,400 minus x squared. Now I know I'm going to need to solve this by factoring, so I'm going to subtract 28,800 from both sides because I'm going to need 0 on the one side. And I'm going to get 0 equal to, well, 32,400 minus 28,800 is going to be 3,600 minus x squared. This, again, is a difference of squares. Difference of squares that I can factor, and I'm going to move this over here. 0 is going to be equal to, this is going to factor 2. Well, if you take 60 times 60, you're going to get 3,600. So this is a difference of squares to get 60 minus x, 60 plus x. And since now what we have here, we can use the zero product property. So 60 minus x is going to be equal to 0, or 60 plus x is going to be equal to 0. Over here, we're going to get x is equal to negative 60. So that one can't work because we can't have a negative speed, negative rate. So what I'm going to do here is, all I need to do is get x by itself. So if I add an x, I'll have 60 equal to x, which is fine with me. It doesn't matter if the x is on the left or the right. So if you have to look back and see what you were solving for, they asked you to solve for what was the speed of the wind. So this is actually 60 miles per hour is the speed of the wind.